What's going on there, everyone? Well, this is an interesting story. I know I say that with every story, but Arizona Dems to censure Senator Sinema for not being crazy enough. This is from PJ Media. Arizona Senator Kristen Sinema has opposed Donald Trump 81% of the time, but the party's loonies on the far left aren't satisfied with that. In fact, they're downright angry that their senator is supporting Trump at all. They are likely to vote to censure Sinema for her confirmation votes on a couple of Trump judges. What's so surprising to me is Kristen Sinema, or Kirsten, however you say it, she is very progressive. She is with these people pretty much in every way, shape, and form. But because she's actually trying to let the government work and, not just trying to hamper every single thing that needs to be done, they consider that her supporting Trump, which is borderline retarded thinking. I mean, it's Kirsten Sinema. She's no Trump supporter. And I don't like the fact that in a way I'm taking up for her right now. She is pretty to look at, though. I'll give her that. Do y'all remember when Mike Pence was officially swearing her in? That was the most uncomfortable I've ever seen Mike Pence, because she was looking gorgeous that day, and Mike Pence, he's super religious, so he was super uncomfortable on that stage with her, and you could see it. It was kind of hilarious. But back to the story from the Washington Free Beacon. The resolution, which will be considered by the Democratic State Committeemen during the Arizona Democratic Party's quarterly meeting Saturday, cites a pair of Sinema's confirmation votes. They did not support her confirmation votes for William Barr as U.S. Attorney General, and for David Bernhardt as Secretary of the Interior. They were also annoyed by her resistance to join Democrats in trying to reinstate net neutrality rules. Dan O'Neill, the state coordinator for Progressive Democrats of America, told the Arizona Republic he supports Sinema, but he said he wants her to move back towards the left, to vote like Democrats and not like Republicans. Whoa. All right, this man is the head or the state coordinator for the Progressive Democrats. The Progressive Democrats and the Democrats are two very different situations. They really are. The Progressive Democrats have fractured the Democratic Party by being way too extreme on every single thing they're about. I mean, they've turned every cause that they're for into a joke, into a laughing stock, because the way they try to go about things, the way they try to get things enacted. And people are sick of that. I mean, look at polls about anything and everything. You will see that there is a major shift leaving the progressives. The progressives are going to have their little base, their little whacked out base of college indoctrinated fools. We get that. I think we all understand that those people exist, and they're going to probably continue to exist. But what the Democratic Party, the actual Democratic Party, the moderate and centrists, the people that actually think and have more than one brain cell, they need to separate themselves from the progressives if they plan on winning anything in the next decade. I mean, because they're a lot of their policies and stuff are scaring the American people, because it's nonsense. It's all nonsense. And to say she's voting like a like a Republican is completely nonsensical. Let's see, she supported the president 19% of the time. So 81% of the time she was against the president. You don't see Republicans doing that, do you? No. Here's the thing. We really support Kirsten Sinema. We want her to succeed. We want her to be the best senator in the country, O'Neill said. But the way she is voting is really disappointing, because we want Democrats to vote like Democrats and not Republicans. How about letting whoever, Democrat or Republican, vote for how they honestly feel. Why do they have to be absolutely partisan on everything? I don't get that. To me, being a very staunchly partisan person can be a very bad thing for any party. Sometimes you have to reach across the aisles. There's some things that I, as a Republican, wouldn't necessarily support. I can't name anything off the top of my head because we've really been crushing it here lately, in my opinion. But there have been things, like when it comes to war and stuff like that, I generally am opposed to war. Don't like it. Don't feel we need to be the police of the world. I just don't care for it. I understand that sometimes we will have to, but generally I try to stay out of that kind of nonsense. Presidents used to have judges confirmed as a matter of course. It was one of those quaint, old-fashioned courtesies extended by the political opposition to a president. Unless the nominee was a real closet case, they would sail through the Senate. That courtesy has become extinct. But despite voting against the president 81% of the time, the far-left kooks in the Democratic Party are about to discipline their senator because she doesn't hate Trump enough. Because she does not like Trump. There's been, just look at her tweets and all this stuff. You can tell she's not a fan of the president. I don't think any Democrat has the balls to actually come out and say, yeah, he's not that bad. He's not that bad of a guy. Because he's not. He's actually been a pretty decent president. Now, Donald Trump before 2016, I couldn't have told you too many great things about him, you know? I could have told you, in my mind, because, you know, I'm from a simple little small town, I would have said he's one of them Hollywood executive type big shots. I don't really care about him. But after watching what he's done and what he continues to do and try to do, he's an amazing president. He's actually one of the few presidents in my lifetime who's actually stuck to his word. Or at least tries. You know, he's got one half of the government that is completely obstructing on everything he tries to do. How are you supposed to get anything? The fact that he's getting anything done is amazing to me because, like I said, he's got half of the country, or half of the political side of our country hates him and just tries to undo everything he does. It's amazing that, like I said. Excuse me. She could call Trump every name in the book, cite his policies as racist, accuse him of wanting to murder illegal aliens. But since she doesn't hate Trump with all the intensity she can muster, with every fiber in her being, like the kooks do, she's ideologically a political suspect. Isn't that sad? I'm glad we're not dealing with this nonsense on the Republican side, because it would severely make me rethink the Republican Party if we acted like this. It wouldn't make me rethink it. I would just leave, because that's no way to live. If you're into politics and you feel that you're on this side, but other people on this side say, "Oh no, you're way too whatever to be on our side," I would leave. I would just be like, "Okay, peace. I'm out. I'm going to go to the other side. Since y'all already accused me of being on that side, I might as well go see what they have to say." And we've seen that happen with Republicans and Democrats. As everyone knows, I am 100% focused on the needs of everyday Arizonans. I refuse to be distracted by the pettiness and the partisanship that has invaded Washington. Well, good on you. I appreciate you saying that. I don't know if it's true, but I appreciate you at least expressing that. Sinema said during a July interview, "I promised Arizonians that I would never be part of that typical Washington chaos and drama. I'm going to continue to stay focused, just like a laser, on the stuff that actually matters to the people in their everyday lives." And then, I guess the guy with the article said, "Well, yeah, good luck with that." But, no, it's a good sentiment. I like what she's saying and what she's trying to represent. If she just wasn't so darn progressive and crazy, because she is, she's just not as vocal and loud and crazy as the far left progressives in the party. But she's still a horribly progressive person, which I just can't get down with that. What does it say about the Democratic Party in a fairly conservative state like Arizona calling out one of their own for not being pure enough? It means they're in deep trouble. Well, we can see that all over the country, that the Democratic Party is hemorrhaging because they're letting the far left crazies and these progressive leftists have such a big voice. If they were smart, they would put those people away. You know, just go to your corner and stay there, whatever, you know. I don't know. But it doesn't hurt me none. I'm a Republican. All this is doing is hurting the Democratic Party. And they're too blind with rage and Trump derangement syndrome that they just don't see that people are fed up with the way the Democratic Party's acting. Look at these nonsensical hearings, these impeachment hearings. It's like, I think they had Lewandowski or someone on there yesterday, and I watched for about 3 of the 5 hours. And it was like watching a clown show. It really was like watching children try to grill somebody on something. And it's nonsense. The whole clown world meme is not a meme anymore. That's real life. That's what we see from the Democratic Party. It's pathetic. We are a very diverse group, and that means diversity of thought as well. Rotelny said, I don't think it reflects poorly on the party at all. I don't think it is an indication of a fracture. I think it's an indication of a group of people who think differently and have different perspective on the same topic. It's kind of funny because it kind of sounds like 2 different parties is really what it is. It does reflect poorly on the party because y'all aren't together. Y'all aren't together. Republicans, generally speaking, we come together on issues. Even if we have slight differences, we hash them out, and then we come together. A lot of the things the progressives put up, if a regular Democrat goes along with it, it just makes them look bad in their districts. People be like, what are you doing, siding with the progressives? Come on now. Like I said, America's, I don't like this progressive PC nonsense. It's insane. It's insane. They're science deniers. They're everything deniers. They deny facts. They deny reality. They may be diverse, but if they stray from the holy right of progressive dogma, it's off with their heads. True. We've seen this. Opposition to Trump must be total and complete. That is the whole idea of resist. Any backsliding for any reason is grounds for being disciplined. The message doesn't get any clearer. That's pretty pathetic, though. You know, say what you want about the Republican Party, but we are a lot better off than the Democratic Party right now. We're actually very cohesive. We're working together. We're getting things done. We're trying to get things done, even though we have half of the government that are obstructionist right now and refuse to work with the other half of the government. You know, our whole systems of checks and balances seems to be all screwed up because there is no real checks and balances. There's just one party saying, no, none of it. We're not doing anything. And the other party's like, well, we're trying to do this to help this situation. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's going to help people, especially if it helps Americans. We're not going to do it. Unless we're talking about helping illegal immigrants, we don't want to do it. It's pretty much what it's come down to. So the left's insane. The left and the Democrats are becoming, in my opinion, just as crazy because they're trying to appease the far left at every chance they get. Look at the presidential debates. You'll see it. That's all, even from the so-called moderates, you're seeing these progressive ideologies spew out of their face. How are you going to call them moderates when they're supporting things like open borders, free health care for all, this, that, and the other, free college tuition and all this? It's like, no. What are you doing? What are y'all doing? Doesn't make any sense. So for the progressives in Arizona, you might want to leave Senator Sinema alone, because by attacking her for not being crazy and woke enough and whatnot, you're going to alienate all the moderates and all the centrists. They're going to see y'all bashing her for her not bashing Trump all the time, and they're going to get fed up with that. Cuz it's like, why are you attacking her? We're on the same side, aren't we? No, you're not. Democrats, you're not on the same side as progressives. Progressives are not on the same side as you. Progressives are trying to manipulate you and get you to put up their fantastical nonsense utopian whatever they're trying to build. Little communist the USSRA or something. I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I think most Democrats, most of the sane moderates and the centrists see this. And us Republicans are just sitting over here shaking our heads, wondering, we've gone strong for a few hundred years. I wonder if we're going to be able to keep that up because of the way the left is going. I don't know. We're actually on pretty shaky ground right now as a country. And I'm just really starting to come to terms with that, and it's frightening. 2020 is going to be a massive, massive situation. If the left wins, I don't know what's going to go down. I mean, I know what's not going to go down, and that's the right's not going to be sitting there rioting in the streets, screaming at the top of our lungs because we're butthurt about who got elected. But I do fear for the state of the nation when it comes to policy and that, because some of the policies these progressives are putting up will destroy our country. Fundamentally, just destroy everything about our country. It will destroy our economy. It will destroy everything. But I'd love to hear your comments on this. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you on the flip side.